Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Talk. So, I know, 1 minute early, I don't know, everything is chaos. I'm having drama on the side, and we're gonna just pretend it don't exist because I'd rather be doing this. I do have to look at my screen here so I can see the messages, and I haven't figured out the camera. I just got back from camping, and, oh, you know, all the chaos of driving a few hours after tearing down your tent and everything. So there's an element of chaos. But let's see who all is here. Let's see. Oh, Lisa here. Oh, and you got a new espresso. Oh, the Ruta Amaya. Oh, I'm looking forward to trying it. We didn't have it at our Costco yet, so hopefully it's coming. I see Sharon's here and J-Dog's here. Hey, J-Dog, how you feeling? Healing up all right? And then Jen is here. Let me know that you're hearing me okay, because I mostly hear the pit boss and the train. So let me know if everything's all right. Anyway, so let's see. I see Jen is here. And mentioning they don't know why they have all the streaming services when we keep coming back to YouTube. Me too. You're right, I mostly watch a lot of YouTube, but we do have Hulu and Paramount Plus, and boy, I can't even, and HBO Max, but HBO Max will let go because it's bundled with our new internet service. We got the AT&T fiber because we had Spectrum, and there were constant outages. It was so awful. And I was just like in a constant state of irritation and anger. So I finally was like, fine, I can't stand it, and I can't wait for Google to get into our area. I need a change now. So here we are, and it seems to have been much better so far. Let's see. Oh, and let's see. It jumped on me again because I scrolled back too far. So I see, and Air Fryer and Auntie is here. And I said Sharon. I see our Attila is here, which is good. I just saw someone say it was their first live. Hopefully your name comes up again real quick when the chat hasn't been flipping all over on me, and so I can greet you proper. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Oh, Air Fryer Annie said they had trouble with the hot water heater at the condo, but hopefully maintenance will be there really quick. Hi Brenda, good to see you again. Let's see. We did have a lot of humid. Yes, accidentally when I was trying to get the stream set up, it went all crazy. Hey Jeanette, Just Renee, good to see you again. And yes, camping was incredible. So let's see. Gigi's here. Let's see. Oh, and Lisa here. Hungry Heath, hey yo. Nothing's in the smoker yet. I was just preheating it. I'm gonna put this lovely steak in there. So, oh, at the Parker Palace, it's Swine Sunday. Pork belly Brussels sprouts, pork belly burnt ends, and Texas torpedoes. Sounds fantastic. I'm actually really hungry, so this is gonna be perfect. Let's see. Oh, and hey, the Warden, good to see you. So, all right. So let's go over things for tonight. So yes, I promised the there's 9 million ways to cook a steak. Lots of them are fantastic. I think it's generally accepted best practice to sous vide and reverse sear, but you know what, that takes time and sometimes planning. So there are also times when you decide you just need a quick steak at breakfast, or you come home and you're exhausted from work or from, like today, a trip, and quick and fast, hot on the pellet grill. I mean, yeah, you could smoke a steak, but that would be kind of weird. This is like the quick and dirty method. Still gives you a little bit of light smoke flavor, but mostly it's just like a hard and fast grill. And I'm gonna just show this to you so you can see that when you have a pellet grill, you can still cook yourself a mighty nice steak. Super delicious. I just have a cheap strip steak. It wasn't even a well butchered steak, it was the discount steak, so it's a little thinner on one side, thicker on the fat side. I am good with all of that. So the deal with the smoker, this is just a Pit Boss, nothing fancy. Pellets, I've got hickory Bear Mountain. It's one of my favorite pellets. I like to buy the mesquite, but mesquite can be a stronger flavor, and so I like that to have mesquite when I'm going to do something that really will take to that for a long, low and slow. Mesquite's great on pork butt, that kind of thing. So, and what I've done is I've preheated the smoker to 450. A lot of people will tell you to pump it all the way up to high, which is like a 500 plus, which would be fine on some applications. But if it's a pellet smoker, you don't want to do that. People sometimes get distressed with their pellet smokers because they talk about temperature swings, and they're worried because the temperature drops down and then it goes up. But that's what's supposed to happen. If you open the lid, the heat comes out, and then it has to drop more pellets in and start a new flame and bring it up. So when you open it, the temperature is going to drop down. It's going to drop more pellets. Temporarily, it's going to go up above that 450 and heat up with some flames underneath, and then it'll stop and mellow down and smoke for a little bit as the pellets have been ignited and drop back down to the temperature. When you open it, it drops down. So it's not something wrong with your pellet smoker. It's made to do that. So now if you're getting wildly crazy swings like 100 degrees, then you need to have a look at your controller and stuff. That's different, but you're gonna go up and down, and don't sweat about it. Don't worry about it. So, oh, Air Fryer Auntie said yesterday their steak looked good, but for some reason it didn't taste good. It was a failure. You know what? I find that if I've screwed up a steak, chop it up and saute it and make it extra well done, crispy with some extra seasoning, and throw it into a taco. And suddenly it's not so bad anymore. Hey Sky, good to see you. Oh, San Antonio, nice. That's where Sky's at tonight. Sounds great to me. I think San Antonio is gorgeous. I love being there, and it has been many, 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 many years. So, and also we're going to talk tonight about the Espresso con Panna. So that's going to be our brew for the night. Espresso con Panna is your espresso, obviously, with cream, but it's actually whipped cream. Con Panna means with cream, but by that they mean whipped cream, which I have pre-whipped. There's a good view for you. And you can see it's a good sturdy whip. I've got it on a bowl of ice so that it doesn't deflate. When you make your whipped cream, you want to make sure that it is good and sturdy, not to like butter, but you want a good stiff whipped cream. Not soft and not deflaty. And with an espresso con Panna, you don't want to use like the kind from the can with the nitrous spray. It's too soft of a whipped cream, and it will just dissipate and not give you the full desserty effect of the espresso con Panna. You'd actually, while I wouldn't recommend it, be better off with even a stabilized whipped cream, which is the whipped cream that you add a teeny sprinkle of gelatin in and firm it up. I would not recommend that, but I would prefer that you did that versus getting the spray can. Spray can has its applications. This is not one of them. So we're going to do lots of things that are not appropriate for espresso con Panna, but they will be more acceptable and more radical geekish than a lot of things. But let's talk about this steak. Let's see. Oh, and Air Fryer Andy says they'll do that tonight with the leftover steaks. They have some onions too. Oh, that are already chopped up. Yeah, saute those right up with some butter. Delicious. Oh, and Sky says that in San Antonio it's hot and sticky. Love the heat, but not the humidity is the phrase that we say all the time here in Ohio. So, but once the sun goes down right now, it is glorious here right now. And where I was up north, holy cow, it was lovely during the day, and at night it dropped down to like 52. It was so cold, and it was just delightful. I spent most of my day, this was not like roughing it camp, even though I was in a tent. They actually had like a nice swimming pool and a hot tub, and so, it was glamping. glamping, fantastic. So, J-Dog says they would like an espresso con panna. It sounds delicious. Yep. And so, also, I forget if I told you already, I made a sage compound butter. So it's just your Kerrygold butter with fresh sage from my garden, and I whipped it up, and then I mixed in a little sprinkle of salt. I know Kerrygold's already really salty, but I'm a little bit I'm low on my electrolytes, and I just really was craving that extra taste. So 2 things here. Let's get this steak on the grill, and we will show you. Oh, let's season it first. Season your steak however you like. I've got chili flakes, Redmond garlic pepper, and a tiny sprinkle of the Kinder's buttery steak rub, the one that has the organic symbol on it. Big warning. If you get Kinder's buttery steak rub, you want the one that has the organic label on it. That is the one that works for keto. The regular standard Kinder's buttery rub is not keto compliant. It has ingredients that are very inflammatory and unhealthy for us. So that's your little tip on that. So, but when you do your seasoning, again, you do you. You can choose whatever steak seasoning you enjoy. And it's of course going to get flavor from the smoke, but not like a heavy smoke flavor, just a light one. Make sure that you season up your fat side, your edge, and give it a nice little sprinkle and a pat. The other thing that people forget to tell you about steaks is bring them out a little bit ahead of time. You don't want it to be like all refrigerated. You want your steak closer to room temperature. Doesn't take that long. And that's pretty much it. So let's get this open. I'm short, so it's tougher for me to get it open and closed. Grab your steak and right in the middle. That's my biggest challenge. And now we wait 2 minutes. So 6:44, we will be rotating the steak. Let's get that to the side. And while we're at it, we've got 2 minutes. Let's brew let me get my espresso maker going. It shut itself off. It just said I was taking too long. So we'll let that water come to temperature and get ready to pull, and we'll make this espresso con panna. So, oh, Brenda says glamping is the only way they want to camp. Blue Dove is here and agrees. The humidity is not fun. The warden, they're all talking back. Oh, and the Texas pterodactyls are arriving. What is that? What is the Texas pterodactyl? I'm not familiar with that. Oh, and Hungry He says they've got a leftover steak to dirty eggs for breakfast tacos. Oh, that sounds really good. That's another option too. Really good. So, oh, and Air Frying Annie says that they have the organic buttery steak rub and they really like it. So, me too. And what has a smokestack? This? Yes. And you can see a little bit of it coming out because I opened it, and like I said, the temperature drops for a second, so it feeds more pellets in and comes back up. J-Dog says, if you glamp and you have kids who have kids, would that make you a glam parent? So, no, and this was not a place where there were kids. It's all adults. And I'll be honest, the campground made me think of like the 70s when they showed those on TV with the campground and the little cabins and all of that stuff. And everybody sitting at the swimming pool. And I was like, the only thing it needed is Quaaludes, which are not a thing anymore. So, I know, see, that's going to get me on like some kind of weird naughty list. But I'm just joking. There aren't Quaaludes anymore, so it's not like something that was going to happen. Let's see. Oh, and Sharon's sharing with Air Frying Auntie that yes, this is a pellet smoker that you can grill on. Yep, so that's a trick. Hot and high. And here's the next step. You take it. It's not a flip, it's a twist. You just take it from this side and you just turn it. Boom. And that's what is going to give you some of that grill mark. It also gives it the opportunity for the temperature to drop and raise back up, and gets a little bit of flame licking up onto the steak and getting that fat going. Set that here. And now let's brew. You remember the espresso maker gets too loud, so we have a little pause. So typical of coffee talk, chat amongst yourselves. So yep, a twist for the marks. Oh, Texas pterodactyls, unofficial state bird, the mosquito. Yes, it is mosquito season here as well, and for whatever reason I have a few mosquito bites up here on my shoulder, but man, they were after my legs this weekend, and I have a ton of mosquito bites. They are driving me crazy. Oh, and the warden says there's a place in Texas for adult only camping, clothing optional. Nice. That's how you get the even tan. So, but yeah. All right, there we are. That was not so bad. I was still getting a little drip. So excited. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And J-Dog says they miss the 60s and 70s. They used to go all over California, Nevada, and Mexico camping each summer. Great memories with the family. Yep. So I did have something silly to show you. But we've had another 2 minutes. So we've had 2 and 2. Now we come to the flip. Boom. Flip it over. 2 more minutes. And delightful, we have a Longo double shot espresso. Look at the foam, it's so perfect. Now I don't want to add my whipped cream, but we will. So we're gonna go ahead. I've got my whipped cream. We'll try and make it nice. I'm not the best at that whole make it nice business. If you're good at making those nice little spoon-shaped things, all the more power to you. I am not a kitchen artist. I can't do fancy things. So there we go. Bloop. Give yourself a nice little snow cap there. And it sits in there all great. There you go. I don't want to pour it over the edge, and so you can't really get a good view, but you can see how it puffed up and it's on top. Move that to the side. And that's it. That is your espresso con panna. And now we've had 2 more minutes. So here we are, 6:48. Final twist. 2 more minutes. So you'll notice there's a theme. Now, I will tell you, espresso con panna, it's normally not sweetened because the richness of the cream and whipped melds really well with the strong, not bad bitter, slightly bitter flavor of the espresso. By the way, it's just my Cafe Bustelo. That's my favorite, that's my go-to. That's what we got. And you can see when I opened it, temperature drop and the flame up, and now we've got more smoke. Oh, it is so good. It's honestly, I like it better than the affogato, and you know, that was ice cream, but the whipped cream in there, it's delicious. If you, I'm not judging. If you want to sweeten it, I think sweetened whipped cream would be spectacular. I would also say when you make whipped cream, I find whipped cream tastes good with a little teeny bit of vanilla in it. Coffee aficionados will smack my hands away from that for putting vanilla in there, but I'm telling you, it's a good flavor for whipped cream. So, do you? Now, all right, here we are, one last part with the steak. I'm just gonna press the fat down on there and it is done. Get it right here in a little bit of flame up that I got. And there we are, grilled perfection. You let it rest for another 4 minutes, and that's it. Hey Rob Hall, nice to see you. Oh, and also agrees that vanilla is good. I knew I liked you. Hey Betsy, good to see you tonight. And we can shut this off now. It'll take a minute. Actually, I can't get to it. I was like, if I unplug it, the fan noise will stop. Give me a second. I'm gonna duck down, so you're gonna just look at my Blackstone cover for a moment. There you go, that's better. But yeah, so that is all you have to do for a steak. It's so easy. And you can see, even here in the camera, look at them grill marks. And I'll show you in just a minute. We'll cut it open. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but 2, 4, 6, 8 minutes on the grill and one quick mash of the fat to crisp it up. That is all you have to do for your quick and hot pellet steak. So, Oh, and Just Renee says they found the Cafe Bustelo Brazilian blend coffee at Target. I'm gonna have to look for that. I can't remember the last time I was in Target, which is weird because Target is amazing. And I can't imagine, you know, why I haven't been there. It's like as if I forgot to go shopping. But Air Fried Annie says they like putting a tad of the sugar-free vanilla soup in their whipped cream. Oh, syrup. Sugar-free vanilla syrup into the whipped cream or in the heavy whipping cream and blending it before adding to the coffee. That sounds great. 450 in the pellet grill. So the opposite of like when Hot and Fast tells you to do it all the way on high or at 500. It's not the same as when you're doing it in a cast iron. It's a specifics for the pellet grill because of the way the temperatures vary and the way the pellets drop and do a flame up and a smoke down. So that's it, and that's why I was telling you guys it's so fast and easy. That's why it's a good method for your quick breakfast or, you know, I'm tired dinners. It's like no effort. Oh, Brenda says that Target has a $100 cover charge. So, and let's see. Oh, and Hungry He says he cannot get the grill marks on his Traeger. It's not set up for direct grilling like the Pit Boss. It's not? I thought you could totally grill on those. Which Traeger do you have, Hungry Heath? I feel like there's got to be a way. Does it limit it on the temperature, or is it the grates? You can still get other grill. You can get. It feels like it ought to go up in temp and let you grill. I thought Traegers were also pellet smoker / grills, but I don't know. I don't own one, so perhaps those were older models. Hey, Ryquin, good to see you. And I'm sorry for your loss, J-Dog. Oh, Traeger is indirect heat. That's right. Okay. It's hard to keep them all straight. There are a lot of brands. I will say that is the one thing for about this being like a little cheapskate thing. It may not last that long, but it's really very handy. It is definitely a convenience appliance. So, All right. Oh, guys, I almost forgot the important part. Let's slap that compound butter on there. Perfect. So, there we go. The butter doesn't look as great on camera, but I assure you, in real life, in person, let me see, I can't quite tilt it. It's gonna fall off the plate if I tilt it too much. So, yeah, it's butter, it's melting, and it's starting to drool all over. I'm starting to drool all over. It was great. So, oh, that was the other thing that happened this weekend. I was camping. I will tell you that my legs are tired, even though I hardly moved anything. And I attribute that to the fact that I did not take my magnesium with me. And I feel like that has really made my calves sore. Like I might be deficient. And so I'm really looking forward tonight after the live stream to slugging down my magnesium and drifting off to sleep. Air Fry and Auntie, no, Dyson did not go camping. I thought about it because they do allow dogs there, but he's elderly and he can be kind of a pissy little dog sometimes, and I was worried that if I went off to the pool that you know, he would be in distress being separated from me and not having his comforts of home at the same time. Oh, Becca, the compound butter, I made a sage butter. I have the sage in my herb garden has gone absolutely wild, so I'm gonna have sage everything, which is good that I like it. But I mean, there's sage for, like, you know, I could give sage to the entire neighborhood and still have extra. It really just exploded. So I made sage. I just took the butter and I whipped it up with the sage and then mixed in a sprinkle of salt. Delightful. Hungry, he says the steak would be better with a sunny side up egg. Maybe at breakfast, but right now I wanted the butter. When I got home, I was really hungry because I didn't eat before I broke down camp. I just threw everything in the truck and then I drove home because it's a 2.5 hour trip. And by the time I got home, I was really hungry, so I made scrambled eggs and ate one of the butter buns with butter on it. And I think that I didn't eat enough fat this weekend, and then paired with the not taking my magnesium, because that butter hit my mouth and I was like, I need more butter. And I like slathered it on the bun. I was craving it when I made the compound butter. So it was definitely an interesting, you know, one of those interesting experiments that you learn about your own bodies. But yeah, I was down with it. I really powered through some butter with my scrambled eggs and on my bun. So I know that well, I guess you can sort of see it on the camera, but there you go. It's got that nice medium rare. It's a pink with just a teeny bit of cook around the edge. You can't really see it too great because the camera and the light behind it from the sun setting makes it look more cooked than it is. But and now the important part, right? It's gonna be a minute because I'm gonna have to chew it, and I'm taking a fatty bite first. You guys know that is the prized bite, that delicious crispy smoked fat. Rubbing it in the butter. Oh, so good. I have to take a moment here. Oh, J-Dog, your jokes are off the hook tonight. So that was sage advice. Yes, it was. You can make compound butters with any herb though, or really any seasoning you like. Pick your favorite and just make sure that you give the butter a good whip to get it like loose and fluffy. Then stir in your herbs and give them and then just give a little bit of sprinkle of salt if you need more salt. If not, you can skip the salt, and that's great. I'm like having like a little slice of heaven here. And even though I'm having dessert in my espresso because of the dessert, because of the whipped cream, I have a dessert also harvested from my garden. Like I remember last year when people were complaining about like, oh, people eat too many berries, you know, and fruit's not keto, and I was like, I eat berries. But listen, from now until early in August, this is the entire thing. This is my harvest each day. Look at these little teeny strawberries. 1, 2, and it was a boomer of a day. I got 3. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna eat them and not feel any kind of guilt whatsoever. So keto police who want to tell me I'm a bad keto person for eating my little strawberries, yeah, oh well, too bad, so sad, sorry about their luck, because they're missing out. And like I said, they're super teeny tiny. I mean, look, there's my thumb, and I have teeny hands. It's this is one grocery store strawberry. I'm sure people will just be getting over it. I'll be a bad influence and eat those berries for my dessert. So, all right, back to your espresso con panna facts, which are very slender tonight. Very, very slender. You know why? It's a weird mystery drink. I know I've been finding these weird drinks where I can't give you like the whole big history like we did when we were first starting out. But that's part of the weird mystery about some of these. You know, they don't know where this came from. Espresso con panna sounds like Italian, and you know, espressos are a very Italian thing, and yet they have nothing to do with it. So good. 0. It's not Italian at all. However, people talk about it and they're like, maybe it started in Turkey and then spread, but maybe it also could have started in Vienna or Germany. And it's hard to tell from the origins by some of the other actual facts about the espresso con panna, because first, in both France and in Vienna, they call it Vinois, which, well, you know, regionally that sounds very, it's a French word, sounds like Vienna. French is one of the languages spoken in Vienna. However, I made a big, huge, giant espresso con panna, which of course real coffee pros would give like the big frowny face on. You would never in a coffee shop get a giant espresso con panna like this. You'd never ever. But I don't care because I love it. And now I'm gonna do a naughty and get like some of my delicious foam that has fused with the whipped cream. Dig in there, yes, with my little teeny spoon, because you guys know I have like all of the ridiculous stuff. But the argument for turkey is that it's very traditionally served in the demitasse cup. You guys remember these fun little cups from when we made Turkish coffee? This is the normal size for your espresso con panna, and it's, you know, it's a Turkish tradition. So there's a good argument for that too. Hard to say. So, and all of them have that whole thing of like they kind of want to claim it, but then also it's such a weird abomination to do such things to espresso. They also kind of like step back from it. I'm like, it's delicious and people love it, so by all means, I have no regrets. Yes, J-Dog, that's exactly correct. It says Wikipedia says espresso with cream is what espresso con panna means. A single or double shot of espresso topped with whipped cream. That's a good repeat from the start of the stream for those who joined us late. That's what we started off with, explaining that. When they say espresso with cream, they don't mean like cream from the canister poured in milk. They mean whipped cream. Con panna. So there's our big evening. Oh, and the warden says they're very full from the fatty pork belly, which is awesome. Man, when you guys made those pork belly Brussels sprouts and how we've all sort of adopted that, I'm telling you, that was a winning. It was the best ever. Oh, Air Fryer Nanny's asking if I'm under attack. The lawnmower. You know what? I don't know. Somewhere in our neighborhood, someone is always mowing or trimming. They are fanatics about it. A lot of our neighbors really love taking care of their yards, and they are all really nice and perfect, which, you know, is the stark contrast for the way I keep our yard. And thankfully, Attila loves to mow. I don't know if he loves it or not, but he does mow all of the lawns. And it's probably good, but like, I don't weed and feed, so our lawn is full of violets and dandelions and small little wildflowers, and we've got everything because I try to keep it very bee friendly. I feel like keeping things bee friendly is really important. So we have patches of bee balm, and my gardening is in the front, and of course, and along the side. So in the front yard where people never do gardening, I've got, you know, a big patch of herbs, and on one side I actually took a section that's just like this patch of grass onto one side of the driveway, and I mulched in, and I made little brick sections, and we planted patches of lavender, and then a patch of lemon balm and peppermint. So it's very non-traditional, and I'm sure that there are times when our neighbors wish that we would be more traditional. I've also started putting in little bits of creeping thyme here and there. I might start putting in some chamomile, so, you know, it takes over the grass actually in some spots. I just think it's lovely. It smells great. It's good for the environment. It's better for the soil, you know, and you can eat it if you eat plants. No judgment if you don't, but chamomile and lavender and lemon balm and mint are all great in teas. So it is what it is. I think our yard is amazing and lovely. Someday when I am better about movement, we'll do like a little yard tour so you can see, because we have this really cool patch that we bricked in a circle around a couple pine trees and then mulched it over, and I've put a swing in there, so that's really lovely. It's so cool. All right, I'll get back here. Let's take a look here. Oh, Betsy says their farmers market opened on Saturday. Nice. Oh, and Reichland says the farmer market where they are has been going since before Memorial Day. Hit them up every Saturday, mostly for eggs, but also got some cucumbers this week. We haven't been to our farmers market for a few days, for a few weeks, but our farmers market goes year round. Because in the summer they're in the downtown Worthington, and it's enormous, and then in the winter they go inside. We have a little teeny mall called the Worthington Mall. It's a bit of a fancier looking place, and the market sets up in there, and instead of like their fresh produce and stuff, you have like the tea company that produces locally, and they bring their goods in. They have some bakeries that come in and they bring their stuff. I know I don't eat bread, but it's still nice to see supporting our local artisans. We have like a couple patisseries that bring stuff. We've got some soap makers and some natural goods people. We've got local honey that runs year round. I know we don't eat honey, but it's still nice to see. And all of those hives and stuff where they're getting their honey power up my mint and lavender patches and all of the things that I enjoy. So, You know what would be great? I'm seeing talk about sauteed mushrooms, and I'm thinking we should mix the mushrooms with the pork belly instead of, you know, as a play, instead of the Brussels sprouts and pork belly. Why are we not sauteing our mushrooms with big chunks of pork belly? I think that would be a nice winner. Ooh, that would be a glorious steak topper. Very indulgent. I don't know if I could move after I ate a steak topped with pork belly, but it sure does sound good, and I'm willing to give it a try for, you know, take one for the team and all that. Let's see. Oh, and Air Frying Annie says they don't mind eating plants as long as they are plants and not posing as fake meat. I agree. So I agree with that. I do think that instead of trying to replicate meats that people who are vegetarian or vegan should really embrace it and go like hardcore in and really enjoy their fresh foods. Can you imagine? I imagine, you know, eating big giant portobellos sounds like so much better to me. Brush those with like some, I don't know, like thin out some avocado and brush them on there and throw them on the grill. Can you imagine? That sounds amazing to me. If I were vegan, that sounds so much better than one of those weird garden veggie burgers. While we were pre-keto, we did a pescatarian stint, and we tried some of those burgers, and I'll tell you, we would eat them very begrudgingly. Nobody really liked them, but we ate them because we kind of thought that's what you should do. And we were so wrong. We would have been so much better off had we really just fully jumped in whole hog and enjoyed the bounty that we could have had. Instead, you know, we followed more of a crapitarian, pescatarian diet, and I have to say, we could have done better choices, and now that I know better, it probably would have been still not as good as this steak. Oh, and Heath is sharing. For those of you coming in early for the 2023 pre-cruise meet-up, we can head over to the Tomball Farmers Market. So that sounds great. I would love to go on the 2023 cruise. I'm just trying to work on my finances to see what I would have to do in order to go on a cruise. I just don't know if it's in the cards. You know, it's one thing to say I could spend the money, which I can, but is it my smart choice? I don't know. It's occurring to me very strongly that we could stand to do some more work inside the house, especially on some of our flooring. My FJ Cruiser, I love it. It's my baby. It's the best. I can't be happier driving it, but it's a 2007. Yes, it's had good care. Yes, it's in good mechanical condition, but 2007 to 2020, it's aging. It's probably time to start looking at replacing it. Prius is a 2012. It's got, you know, it also, we need to look at replacing it. So those are some big money expenses, and when you start adding it up, plus, you know, aging and needing health care. So, I don't know, I really just have to give it some serious thought. I really have to think about it. My desire to go and have fun, and Hungry Heath says start making payments on it now, so like it's a vacation layaway, which also sounds very tempting and maybe possible, but I'm really of two minds of where I need to, what I want to do, what I need to do, how I can accomplish it. I really got to sit down and do some very serious planning. So let's see. Oh, and let's see. Jen Delaney says, I wonder if any carnivore or keto people have gone vegan successfully. That's a good question. I mean, I've seen vegan keto and stuff like that, but I have no idea. I haven't really researched it to see what they do or how they accomplish it and how they achieve getting all of their good nutrition. Pretty interesting. And Brenda shares that Heavenly Fan is vegan. So we could maybe look at that and see how it goes. And Betsy says they too, they really need to budget for necessities. I'm also keeping in mind that my kid is going into their junior year in college. They're moving out, and Yes, they have savings. Yes, they've got a job. Yes, they can pay their bills. But I feel like when I was their age, I did everything on my own because that's what we had to do. There was no cushion. There was no, it was definitely not a good time. It was definitely a pull you up by the bootstraps. And I thought, they do know the responsibility of saving money. They understand fiscal responsibility, all of that stuff. It certainly would be nice to give them a leg up to do better, not better, to live easier than we did back in our day. It's hard enough right now. Things are expensive. I mean, oh my God, you guys, just this weekend going camping, and then also coming and remembering that we're going into our vacation for Origins on Wednesday. So my FJ Cruiser takes only premium gas, and to get up to the campground and back, so that was over $120 just to get there and back. And the Prius is a hybrid vehicle, and it needed gas today. It was not even all the way down to empty. $40. So that's one, fortunately we won't need it. Oh, good night, J-Dog. You take care. I hope that you feel better soon. But it's good that I see you up and about and chatting, because that way we know that you are doing semi-okay, although, not 100%. All right. Oh, okay. Goodbye, Sharon. I hope you enjoy your burgers. Ooh, a jalapeno slaw sounds great for a side. And actually, you guys, I think we might wrap up the stream a little early here tonight as well. And I know that's going to be like 3 streams in a row where we're wrapping it up early. It's just the summer. June is a crazy pants time. Like I said, and next week we'll be going on to into Origins for the game fair, which is, that's a gaming convention. So that will also be a tight stream, because we'll have been schlepping and tearing down and moving a truckload of stuff out of the convention center, and then loading up the car so that we can get home Monday morning for work. And that's going to be another exciting stream. Although I'm plotting, just so you guys know, I've got some ideas in my head for that whole stuffed waffle thing. And we might do something, I can't promise. It also might go completely off the rails and be something completely different. So, exciting stuff. Plus, I don't know what I'm thinking. I think I scheduled the Dalgona coffee for next week, which might be very interesting in a hotel room, but we'll go with it. It should be interesting. So, oh yeah, Air Fry Auntie said the filling up the RAV4 today was $75. Crazy stuff. And it's profiteering causing all the gas stuff, because our oil companies could absolutely be making this easier on us. But share stockholders, profits, and record profit making is more important right now. So we'll get through it. I'm sorry, I should not go into politics here, not on our live stream. I was a little salty about it. So all right. And Sky says, yeah, the diesel so far for the trip has been over 1K. Oh my goodness. Yep. All right. You guys have a good night. I'm going to devour this steak. I just can't tell you. It is spectacular. Thanks, everyone. You have a good one. I really look forward to these every Sunday. So you have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.